dear decor lovers. Welcome back to the channel, where we transform ordinary spaces into dreamy retreats. Today, we're stepping into a small red rustic farmhouse brimming with cozy cottagecore decor and vintage charm. If you adore warm hues, weathered wood, and nostalgic touches, this is your ultimate inspiration. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss our weekly decor journeys. Like if this style speaks to your soul, and comment below, what's your favorite cottagecore element? Let's dive into this enchanting space where every corner tells a story. The first thing that captivates is the deep red exterior, reminiscent of old barns kissed by time. Paired with white trim and a weathered wooden door, this farmhouse exudes warmth and character. The rich hue contrasts beautifully with lush greenery, creating a postcard-perfect facade. Whether you're driving by or sipping tea on the porch, this home feels like a storybook escape. Would you dare to paint your home this bold shade? Let us know in the comments. No farmhouse is complete without a charming porch, and this one is a dreamy nook for slow living. Picture rustic rocking chairs, vintage milk cans filled with wildflowers, and a woven porch swing. The mix of textures, wood, wrought iron, and linen, creates an inviting atmosphere. Soft candlelight at dusk makes it the perfect spot for evening storytelling. How do you style your outdoor space? Drop your ideas below, we'd love to hear them. Step inside, and the entryway sets the tone with distressed wood benches, antique hooks, and a vintage mirror. A woven basket holds cozy blankets, while dried lavender sprigs add a subtle fragrance. The peeling paint on the walls isn't a flaw, it's history preserved. This space isn't just functional, it's a warm embrace after a long day. Could your entryway use a cottagecore makeover? Let's brainstorm in the comments. The living room is a sanctuary of plush sofas, crocheted throws, and a stone fireplace crackling softly. Vintage books line wooden crates, and a patchwork quilt drapes lazily over an armchair. The walls display botanical prints and antique clocks, each with its own tale. This room isn't just decorated, it's lived in and loved. Does your living space tell a story? Share your favorite vintage find with us. The kitchen is pure farmhouse romance: open shelves with chipped enamelware, a farmhouse sink, and a rustic wooden table bearing the marks of family meals. Fresh herbs hang from beams, and mason jars store pantry staples. The copper pots add a warm glow, while a vintage stove stands proudly. Could this be your dream kitchen? Tell us what you'd cook first in this cozy space. Tucked in a sunlit corner, the dining nook features a reclaimed wood table surrounded by mismatched chairs. A delicate lace table runner contrasts with rugged textures, while hand-painted plates add whimsy. Morning light filters through gauzy curtains, making every meal feel special. Do you prefer matching sets or eclectic mixes? Let's chat below. The bedroom is a soft, dreamy haven, a iron bed frame dressed in linen sheets, topped with a hand-stitched quilt. A vintage vanity holds perfume bottles and dried roses, while fairy lights twinkle above. The room whispers slow mornings and lazy Sundays. What's your must-have bedroom detail? Share your cozy secrets. blends clawfoot tub charm with weathered wood shelves holding lavender soaps and antique jars. A framed floral tapestry adds romance, while candles flicker beside the sink. It's a spa-like retreat with old-world grace. Would you unwind here? Tell us your bath time rituals. Nestled by the window, a plush armchair and stacked books invite hours of reading. A knitted blanket drapes over the side, and a brass lamp casts a golden glow. This nook is proof that magic lives in quiet corners. What's on your reading list? Drop recommendations below. The garden is a wild, blooming paradise, rustic trellises, stone pathways, and a tiny greenhouse filled with seedlings. A bistro set waits under a tree, perfect for picnics and poetry. Nature isn't just outside here, it's part of the decor. How do you bring the outdoors in? Let's swap gardening tips. Gathered around the crackling stone fireplace, this corner is the heart of the home. A woven hearth rug, stacked firewood, and a vintage copper kettle create a scene straight from a fairy tale. Above the mantel, an antique clock and dried wildflowers add timeless elegance. Whether it's sipping cocoa or sharing stories, this spot is made for memory making. Do you have a fireplace in your home? Tell us how you style it in the comments. The kitchen's open wooden shelves are a curated gallery of vintage teacups, mason jars, and heirloom dishes. Each piece tells a story, a thrifted find, a family hand-me-down, or a flea market treasure. The mix of practical and pretty makes everyday moments feel special. How do you style your shelves? Minimalist or maximalist? Let's discuss below. Nothing says cottagecore like soft, layered textiles. Think crochet doilies, linen curtains, and a chunky knit throw draped over a rocking chair. The mix of patterns, floral, gingham, and lace, adds depth without clutter. Every touch is an invitation to slow down and savor the moment. What's your favorite way to add coziness? Share your tips with us. lighting here is pure nostalgic magic: oil lanterns, Edison bulbs, and a wrought iron chandelier casting delicate shadows. At night, the house glows like a firefly-lit haven. Even a simple candle in a mason jar feels enchanting. How do you light your space? Modern fixtures or vintage charm? We'd love to hear. The walk-in pantry is a dream of organization and charm: chalkboard labels, wire baskets, and glass jars filled with pasta, spices, and honey. A rolling ladder adds a touch of old-world whimsy, while dried herbs hang from the ceiling. Could this inspire your next pantry makeover? Tell us your storage secrets. Under the stairs, a tiny reading nook blooms with a velvet armchair, stacked books, and a tiny side table for tea. It's proof that even the smallest spaces can hold big magic. Do you have an awkward nook at home? How would you transform it? Let's brainstorm below. by billowy curtains, the window seat is the perfect perch for daydreaming and birdwatching. A patchwork cushion, a stack of novels, and a tiny vase of daisies make it irresistible. Would this be your favorite spot in the house? Tell us how you'd style yours. Even the mudroom oozes charm with peg rails, woven baskets, and a vintage bench. Rain boots sit neatly below, and a chalkboard menu reminds the family of the day's plans. Functional? Yes. Boring? Never. How do you keep entryways tidy yet stylish? Share your hacks. One accent wall blooms with vintage-inspired floral wallpaper, adding romance without overwhelming the space. Paired with white wainscoting, it feels fresh yet timeless. Bold patterns can be intimidating. Would you try this look? Tell us your thoughts. the backyard, a reclaimed wood table sits beneath string lights and climbing roses. Dinner here is more than a meal, it's an experience. The mix of mismatched china and wildflower centerpieces makes every gathering feel like a celebration. Al fresco dining lovers, sound off in the comments. The kitchen window hosts a mini herb garden, basil, thyme, and mint thriving in terracotta pots. Fresh flavors at arm's reach, plus a sunlit view while washing dishes. Could your kitchen use this touch? Share your favorite herbs to grow. Upstairs, the attic-turned guest room is a sloped-ceiling dream with a wrought-iron bed, fairy lights, and stacks of quilts. It's the kind of space that makes visitors never want to leave. Do you have an underused attic? How would you transform it? corner boasts a gilded mirror, perfume bottles, and a velvet stool, like stepping into a 1940s film. Morning routines feel luxurious here. Would this vanity inspire your space? Tell us your favorite vintage beauty ritual. A small wooden desk faces the garden, with a typewriter, dried flowers, and leather-bound journals. No harsh overhead lights, just sunshine and candlelight. The perfect setting for writing letters or sketching dreams. Does your workspace need a cozy revamp? And just like that, we've wandered through every corner of this small red rustic farmhouse, each space brimming with warmth, history, and cottagecore charm. Now it's your turn. Which idea will you try first? Drop a comment, and let's keep the conversation going. If you loved this tour, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss our decor adventures. Until next time, may your home be as cozy and magical as this one. Happy decorating, friends!